Hi there, good people. What's going on? Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Today, I want to do two episodes. First one is already done. A bit long video of few fragrances, which is a list, which I'll upload side by side with this. And the second episode, I want to talk about certain point, which I believe will be helpful to some of you. I think this is like from my real life experience. I've been experiencing a lot of things when I started working with fragrances. Everywhere you go, you'll learn something. Life teaches you one thing or two. So hopefully you're doing good, and you're in good health, which is most important, because there's no good soul without a good healthy body. So please do take care of your health, and always be alert. So now let's start. I want to talk about one of the you know uh, negative aspects in life. Okay, sometimes positive, sometimes negative, but this particular fault that we have, I would say this is a fault of human beings. I'm not going to give you religious talk. I'll just try to give you my 2 cents. Okay. So the topic that I have on mind is called jealousy, and why this is such a serious problem. I will give you some thoughts. Some of you already know why this is a bad thing, but some of the seven, if you watch the movie called Seven, there's like seven sins, right? People are guilty of. It's an interesting film. Definitely watch it. It's a masterpiece of a film. And jealousy is, I think, one of them, major sins. Sometimes we, have some bad habits, like we lie, we say something, we don't mean it, we break our, promise. Then we have some other theft, then sometimes we are like jealous, or, anger management, a lot of bad sides of human beings, like negatives. But jealousy is one of the worst ones. Jealousy is when, in to my understanding, why people are jealous. I think it's an innate quality that sometimes we possess, sometimes we can control it, sometimes we can't, sometimes we show it, sometimes we don't. Some people are very obvious; they will definitely show it. Who are they jealous of? People usually are jealous of people who are doing better off than them, and at least they're thinking so. Like guy who's riding a bicycle or walking. Let's say guy is walking. You see the video. Guy who's walking, he's thinking, oh, the guy on the bike, so lucky he got a bike, can pedal back to his home. And then the like bike guy look at the motorcycle and he goes like, oh, the guy can go fast. And the motorbike looks at a car, like a Camry or something, and they go like, man, so lucky, got air conditioning. The Camry guy looks to Mercedes, and then go like, man, I wish I could afford that. Mercedes looks at aeroplane. You see what I mean? So this is how it goes on. But in reality, people don't realize a lot of people are worse off than them. And people don't usually talk about those people who are worse off. You'll never see people making content, or people bashing people, talking about people trying to make content or on failure, like, or let's say people who never do much, that they get mentioned. People only look at people who are happening, let's say CEO or a company or an individual who's getting awards for achievement. People look at them, go like, oh yeah, you big achiever guy. Sometimes we do that, right? We all are guilty of, like, oh, what's so special about you? I can do that better than you. Like, if you see YouTube reviewers, you always see some wise guys, hey, he doesn't have this. Hey, what is he talking about? His English is fake accent, this. And in reality, they don't realize, they don't look at themselves, they don't realize that they are not doing any work. They don't have any achievement, they don't have a channel, and they do want to collect perfumes, but they cannot, because perhaps their planning is wrong, perhaps they don't have budget. So people feel jealous sometimes naturally, and they turn it to anger and hatred. It's all part of the toxic process. So when people are jealous, what happens? Let's say you always hate on people who are more successful. People don't talk about people who are under them or below them, financially especially. People look at some guy who just, maybe YouTuber, just bought a car. He just saved his money, bought a car, or he got an award, he got mentioned in other groups, people are loving him. I'm giving you examples from real life. I'm not mentioning names, right? But when you see that happening, some people feel that particular guy, why is he getting so much credit? Why is he making that money? Why is he getting all the respect? I'm not liking it. I think I know better than him. I have a better collection than him. I can speak better English. I'm a better looking guy, or I have better financially. So many people bash me. This guy is a Decant seller. In my country, a lot of things happen, but I'd like to think it happens in every country. Jealousy is a common phenomena. People often are jealous everywhere in the world. But people bash me. Hey, this guy, he is a Decant seller. That's why I push perfumes, and he has all the clones, all the hate. They even turn the positive negative. If I say, if I got some nice fragrance, oh, he got it for free. Or let's say, some people bash me, hey, he got sponsored here and there, people are sponsoring him. They don't realize when they're saying all these things, actually this is all to my credit as well. When I got popularity, I did not get it overnight. I worked for it 6 7 years. When people hate on whatever I am, like getting views, people hate, like, hey, he's making these pointless videos, why is he getting all these views? I built an empire, from like scratch, right? When I got here, there was no real community, not really big community. We were a few people working with fragrances. So when I did a group and I started gathering people, that was my, goal. And I was bringing the sellers together, communicating them with the potential buyers, and it was happening. Some people did not like it. Okay, they thought, who is he to represent Bangladesh? They don't realize they can also represent, but they couldn't. Okay, they have the money, they have the time, they have technology, they have better camera, but nobody actually came up and do the work, and they all talk about one guy. Okay, and I take it as a credit because they are watching me, I'm not watching them. Okay, they make content about me, I don't make any content about them. So this thing is why people are jealous when they are jobless. Okay, they don't have, and don't take it negatively, this is reality. If you look at yourself, let's say you are guilty of it, like, okay, you realize how you're wasting your time, in jealousy or burning, or you feel like, I could do better, why these guys. You'll never find happiness. You always talk about a guy and you pray that he falls and he dies, you have these negative thoughts. But instead, if you actually engage yourself in proper work and try to make some content that people will take your name and say thank you, Joyamin. Let's say they talk about me. I got a few days back mentioned in one of the groups by Nikhil Bhai. Nikhil Bhai is one of the finest reviewers in the world. I learned about oud from him, and he's like, I would like to think that we are batchmates, same age. Maybe if he's a little bit younger or elder, I don't know. But in experience, in his wisdom, in his novelty, I don't know what's the word I'm trying to find. Like him, Hassan Siddiqui Bhai, these two guys are gems of India. So they are reviewers, they are attar lovers, they make fragrances, they show us traditional where oud comes from, so we learn a lot. So imagine when a live session is going on, someone told me like I was mentioned there. When I got mentioned there, I felt extremely humble because I'm not from their level. They are definitely higher level than me, and it felt like a huge respect and honor for me. At the same time, I felt, like this thing I achieved perhaps by doing work day in day out, and people always see like, hey, he's getting the love and views. They don't see how I grind my hard working days. Same with other people. Like, let's say you are like building a company. Now you are somewhere, you are, you have 50 people working for you, but you're not always rich, right? So you work for such certain thing. So people, I think, focus always on success and people with money. They don't realize uh, when people are working hard, honestly, these things are important as well. So I would say jealousy is one thing. It can be a disease, but there's a cure for it. You have to make your heart bigger. How? You can donate, you can help others. If you donate to people, even let's say you're not the rich, you're not well off, but you see someone less fortunate than you help them. I tell you, I assure you one thing, I'm not very religious in that way, but I do have some faith. And my faith tells me when you help people in need, God helps you back so much more, and you'll be always safe. You'll be safe from danger, this and that. So do not engage yourself in negative things. People sometimes use your brain and manipulate you, use you to get what they want. You don't realize it at that time, but 5 6 years down the line, you just waste, and you just realize you earn nothing, you gain nothing, you just waste your time. There's nothing worse than wasting your time. Okay, so I realized it at 40s. I'm going to be 42 this year. So I'd like to tell you, when you feel jealous, don't. It's like be awesome instead, like Bernie would say. But in general, when you do not have work employment, you're not doing so good in your, whatever you're doing, that's the moment, and the laziness will get you. You'll be eating popcorns, you'll be gaining weight, and you'll be wondering, what I could do. You wonder so much, but you're not really doing any work. Please always try to do certain work, whatever you want to do. You interest you, keep yourself busy. If you're sitting idle in a foreign land or somewhere and you have nothing to do, then only you talk about people and always look at someone else's work, and then do stuff. You just backbite. It doesn't really get you anything, right? You just waste your time and you will feel worse in the process. One thing. Second thing I'll talk about is important thing update about my channel. Sometimes you are asking why I'm not doing individual reviews. This month, last month, these 2 months, I reduced my number of buying. of new fragrance. I did not order any new fragrance for myself. I buy certain fragrance from my page, which is Decant page. You can, if you're Bangladesh, you can collect Decants from me. But business is not so good. Another thing is, when I buy so many fragrances, nobody gives me for free. So what happens, I wish they did, but that would be helpful. But I go to shops, I try to create content, but I'm not going to buy that many new fragrances, because once I buy them and to do reviews, I lose money. And the kind of investment you want to do, you better invest in certain thing that will give you return back. When I buy so many cheap fragrances, like to do content, or even niche fragrances, designer, after I do reviews, perhaps I got no views. Okay, perhaps I put in Decant page, it doesn't sell. I'm telling you honestly, not many people tell you these, but I tell you, like, this is how I work. So I have a system. So what I'm doing right now, I'm buying some backup bottles for my page, but mostly I'm going to continue doing this list. I'm trying to think of something new. If you find these videos a bit boring, you don't have to watch, you don't have to support me, I understand, but you have to also make money. You also have to make a living. If I don't do videos for a few days, if I do not upload, if I don't get views, they stop paying you through the ads, and then your curves don't look that good. So I'm not saying it fell drastically, but I think this year started off of very average, like the way they pay in YouTube. Monetization, it's not as good as last year or the previous years. So you have to work, continue work. Fragrance is my 24 hours job. I don't sell perfumes like full bottles, but I do have a Decant page, and I do YouTubing. This is my one of the prime source of income. And also have, we have properties and stuff. So sometimes, I have to develop that, but not yet. I haven't put my mind on business yet. But this is my passion. I also felt one point, I want to review as many fragrances as possible, designer, niche, any company. I would like to do at least one review, so people are benefited. Oh, if they go to the market, or Joy reviewed it, that's what I feel is achievement. I reviewed many houses, and thanks to my brothers, my friends who gave me their bottles, they send me gifts, samples, decants. It's my pleasure to do content. So I actually cut down on my buying a little bit, and I'm trying to keep going. And maybe I'll downsize my collection a little bit, because it's not always wise to have so many fragrances. Very difficult to move. Okay. And very last point, just point, like last point, I want to finish with that point, but I have one more point. That is the fragrances nowadays, the pattern. I'm noticing that people are a little bit frustrated. Where is the frustration coming from? I think it's not certain people, not all. They wear brand. Okay, they don't wear a fragrance. They will never admit that they started off with a Versace or CK1. They'll always act like I was born with golden spoon in my mouth, and I was perfect, and I always had this posh collection. I have seen people with just a very basic collection. When they started, they were genuine, they were cute, like they were sweet, and their honesty was there. Some reviewers, and then as time progressed, maybe they started getting sponsorship from certain company or someone. They started making fragrances. Once that happens, that commercial side comes, it's very difficult when you try to sell. It becomes very difficult to stay honest. I'll tell you why. Let's say you are sitting with a guy, you don't like certain things about him, but this guy always want to see you, and when he sits with you, he has coffee and this and that. You'll never be able to tell honestly, I don't like this particular thing about you. You are too loud, or you are always two mouth, two face. I know certain people who tell you, hey man, that guy, he's a d-bag, I hate that guy, be careful of the guy. You'll be like, oh, okay, this guy, saved me just now. But other side, he's going to go to that person and say, this guy is a d-bag, do not talk to him. This is how some people are nowadays. I don't know what's this sickness. They are well off, they don't need to do this. People lie, people manipulate, they try to make people fight, and they try to take down when they build something. Let's say I built a group. Just last point, I built 3 groups: Fragcomm Bangladesh, Goodfellas Fragrances Bangladesh, Perfume Marketplace Bangladesh. Some people really appreciate it because it's giving them benefits. You are being recognized in the group, other people are seeing your collection, they are getting to know each other, and you can sell your perfumes in my group, or you can buy decants. So you're being benefited. But guess what? You never harm certain people, but they talk about you, they try to harm you. They go to certain people and say, do not support this guy, is a scam. So if I am a scam, who's original? I wonder sometimes, like, who built all these things one by one? Yeah, there are people who worked hard, right? but to represent Bangladesh, I did my part. And when people say, you are scam and this and that, I really understand it's basically about business. So it's some people try to show they are so passionate, they are just working for community, they are so aware. But in reality, that's what they're doing. They're working for certain sellers, they have certain interests, they're getting paid, and they're doing content, this and that. But most importantly, people who are losing, let's say I built a fragrance. Sometimes people tell me, Joy, make your perfume. Let's say I made this perfume, just, you know, general. And then I say, this is the best fragrance. One of the reviewers did say, this is the best fragrance, and nothing comes close to this is the best fragrance in the world. Okay, perhaps it's out of sentiment, perhaps it is the best fragrance, right? But a few days back, I did say, before I had my fragrance, I said, this fragrance was the best. And when this was released, I said, this is not good. And every now and then you'll see certain reviewers, they just switch from this week to that week. Some things are at the back, some things are moved. So we have information, like sometimes we hear companies pay certain reviewers to say those good things and they show the fragrance at the showcase. And that is sad. That's where credibility is broken. Some people still trust you, they like you, and they follow you with so much passion. And when you tell someone lie, I don't know how you feel, but I will feel very terrible. Okay. If I don't feel this fragrance is solid, I'll never tell you this is solid. If this one lasts like 4 or 5 hours on me, I'll never say it lasts 8 hours on me. Okay. That's the whole point of doing the reviews, man. But again, it's a difficult world. People are, finding difficult to trust people. So once you achieve that, certain people are not happy about it. When I talk about jealousy, some people don't like it. Why is he having goodwill, right? So always trust your instinct. Do not be a sheep. Do not be tempted by people when they say something is wrong. Do not try there. Do not go to the restaurant. Stop supporting. And this is what people do. They give you evil eye, like they hate on you. I'll talk about evil eye another day, but do not let your mind be controlled by others. Be independent. Make your decision, good or bad, right or wrong. You make your decision, then you realize that, oh, I'm in charge. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I could make some sense. Sorry for the long talk. Sometimes I feel like talking to you guys because life is short. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.